Good evening in the UK and good afternoon in the USA. We have finally witnessed that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I'm basically getting all the names very mixed up, so I apologize for that. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are now sworn in as Vice President and President of the United States. Kamala Harris will become the very first black woman and South Asian woman to be sworn in as the Vice President of the United States, the most powerful job in the universe. And finally, at last, after long years, Joe Biden is now sworn in as the President of the United States, becoming the 46th President, after he left as former Vice President, along with President Barack Obama in 2016 or 2017. Things went a whole lot worse with former President Trump. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really want to call him President Trump in my opinion, because all Trump is nothing but a wannabe sports entertainer. Yes, he's been inducted on the Hall of Fame in WWE. I don't know why WWE are doing this, thinking, oh, he's the top stars, he's one of our beautiful sports entertainer. As soon as you put so much insurrection to many people that happened in January 6th, I kind of urge the WWE to remove him, completely remove him from this Hall of Fame, because at the end of the day, he caused insurrection, massacre with the organizations from absolute racist group. I think this should not be tolerated at all. It should be zero tolerance in WWE. I mean, look what happened with Hogan. Hogan got removed from the Hall of Fame name because of Hogan's racial remarks. How come Donald Trump could get away with all of this stupid little not condemning racial groups and stuff? I mean, for some reason WWE think, no, because Trump is so important, he's one of our friends. Ridiculous. They should really start actually showing a bit of respect. So with all that said, we are really happy that we are seeing the new induction of the President of the United States, the 46th President, and Vice President of the United States. Nothing's going to get perfect anyway throughout the pandemic, so I mean, like what Joe said, things are not going to get easier, it's going to get more harder before it can get better. And for those of people who didn't watch the inauguration, here's a little quick clip that we've seen on CNN.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
Office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Hey, you probably know why I like CNN, of course, but yeah, so there you have it. They are now finally sworn in, and who knows it, I'm very excited for the future, what's going to happen in the United States. Unfortunately, our government sucks at the moment, but Tories have been in power, for over 10 years, and they're still corruptive as hell, brainwashed by dumb Brexit and stuff, and not actually focusing on the real plan that is happening across the pandemic. It's ridiculous. But I will say to you guys is that I'm very, very happy to see them sworn in, and we are looking forward to the future onto what the United States are going to do.
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
Well, this is actually the start of the warmer weather here at Oxford. We've already seen the breaking news already that the entire England will exit the national lockdown next month. And you can see right in front of me, this is not really locked down with no people around. This is so many people. It feels like a normal day to me, to be honest. There have been over 15 million over 65s, I believe. Yeah, over 15 million people have been vaccinated, and it is bound to increase more than 15 million people. I think 30 million people, probably by the end of today, or should I say by the end of this week. But we'll better have to wait and see what happens next. Around here you can see I finally came back to vlog. Hello guys, welcome back to this Life During Quarantine part 2, which is the episode of 2. And you probably could see that there are still shops that are still closed. M&S is still open for essential things. Clarendon Central is still open for essential walkthrough. We already know that non-essential shops are still closed, but we don't know if non-essential shops are due to reopen on March 8th. But just to let you guys know, the tagline is bring your friends to the park. With all that said, we are actually on the verge to exiting lockdown next month, but don't hold your hopes up. There's some other parts that we may have to keep on going, but eventually we will get there. But for now, we should enjoy our life during lockdown. For now, everything seems to be normal throughout our daily lives. Of course, we still have that stupid daily briefing. We have a boring lecture from scientists, but then again, it is what it is, guys. What's been changed over the last several weeks? Well, first of all, I have actually stopped vlogging on January 6th or 5th, I believe. Yeah, January 5th. I stopped vlogging because of lockdown has took its toll, and it really drained me. It really kind of actually put me down very badly. So I had several weeks rest from vlogging, but I decided to do an update today, since now that we are exiting lockdown, not fully exiting lockdown, but there is some certain hope that some essential shops or non-essential shops are due to reopen, and on the verge of reopening non-essential shop is what I'm going to be looking right in front of me, which is the O2 store. Yes, the O2 store is now upgraded from Clarendon Centre to here. What has changed around here? Not really much. It's just the same old usual. Social distancing, very eerie feeling, and yes, we're a month 2 of no shops reopen at the start of 2021, but at the moment there are no sign of shops being reopening on March 8th. They will go through the procedures of routine of cleaning. Yeah, it does say until further notice, but after March 8th there will be some announcement for the reopen of non-essential shops, but it's not really fully lifting lockdown. It is partially lifting lockdown with schools reopening. Some cafes and restaurants are reopening for takeaways. There has been some outdoor eating is going to be reopening. That's the part of the exit strategy of lockdown. So the exit strategy will begin in March. Yeah, you can meet your friends again. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Outside the park or at a cafe. So technically this is not really lifting lockdown, but you are still going to see this eerie feeling probably after March 8th. Don't feel negative about it, but we are on the verge of coming out of lockdown nearly fully, probably by the end of March. I don't know, but the vaccination program is going extremely well, but we all have to bear our minds that we've still got a long way to go, but eventually we are playing our part and sacrificing everything what we have. Yeah, that's the reason why we are starting the part 2 of Life During Quarantine, episode 2, part 2. Superdrug remains closed for the time being. I think Superdrug will open on March 8th. I don't know. That's probably some promising hopes, I believe, because Superdrug is deemed essential, but I don't know if some kind of decision been made by Westgate to say, oh no, it's non-essential, we have to close it. But apparently that's probably the infection rate has gone up in Superdrug, and Westgate was badly hit with spikes of variants around here, but it sounds like everything's all clean now. Yeah, you can see that the essential retail, I mean, it did say it's going to reopen, it's going to stay open, but that failed. that really failed. You can see right in further distance, John Lewis will remain closed probably until further notice. There will be some announcement for the reopening of John Lewis. Don't know whenever in March, probably in April. Next is still closed. I believe they closed down Click and Collect now. I believe we'll have to wait for March 8th for that. So I believe that Click and Collect probably reopening on March 8th. I don't know. We will have to wait and see what happens next. Primark is already closed anyways. Well, there's Primark. Yeah, Primark is already closed. Of course, other shops, Blackwell of Oxford, nobody goes there. Probably children does, and a lot of people. And then you can see there's two people cuddling each other. Not sure why, but I think if it was the police and if the police say no cuddling, £200 fine. That's ridiculous. Yeah, overzealous police work. I mean, come on. We need to hug people with our mask on. If you're wearing your mask, now, look, let me tell you this. Wear your mask.
For God's sake, wear your mask. Wear your mask. It's not a political statement. It's a patriotic thing to do.
We are actually on the verge of coming back to shopping again here at Westgate. Very, very soon.
1 week later.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Well, we do have a breaking news for you, and guess what? It is related to me. Yes, but we do have two breaking news. The second one you ain't gonna like, but the first one you are definitely gonna like because the first one is definitely related to me. So, I got an announcement for you. I will be getting the vaccine this Friday. I cannot believe that I got a phone call from the NHS, I believe, or people say protect the NHS. Well, I'm not really getting into details about it. Yeah, I got a phone call. I believe it's for my for my family, basically. So, my older sister, my other older brother, including myself, are definitely getting the vaccine. So, all good news so far is I am definitely getting the vaccine, and I know you guys are feeling a little bit upset because you didn't even have a turn to get a vaccine. But I can tell you, don't worry about it. When it is your turn, get it vaccinated. I might probably have to go for a second dose. I don't know. They will actually tell me what they needed to do. So, but for now, I am actually getting my first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. That's the great breaking news that I want to share with you on the first one. The second one I'm about to share is really bad. This involves the golf legend Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, who made a comeback in 2019 to win the Masters. Now, 2021, 2 years on, he's involved in a car crash. It looks horribly devastating. It's a heartache. He had to be removed by the jaws of life. We don't know what the cause of this accident, but I can't really say any full details, but you're going to have to find out on the news sources on the website, on TV, or even on the radio. Normally I would actually recommend you CNN because they're the best. That's all I could share with you with this breaking news.
Tomorrow.
Well, hello to you all and welcome to the very quiet section of Clarendon Centre. It is eerie, so spooky. All the shops have closed, including O2. Very, very spooky. Well, I'm going to go over to Cornmarket Street. You can see that there are going to be a redevelopment of Clarendon Centre. Costa is already closed until further notice. There is a Costa in Queen Street anyway, so Card Factory is still closed, TK Maxx is still closed, Gap Outlet is still closed as well too. Tortilla is still open, which is kind of a bit strange. Of course, I forgot to get the hand sanitizer. I'm going to get the hand sanitizer. As you can see, please use hand sanitizer. Message to everybody, wash your hands. And here we are in Cornmarket Street. You can see around here, it's starting to build up. Quite a lot of people around here. Quite a lot of people to build up quite a lot of people around here. And it's incredible. A lot of people are happy. Everyone's happy at work. And you've already seen this guy said hi. He's really happy because we're all happy because lockdown's ending soon. So that's why a lot of people are actually happy. We are absolutely fed up with lockdown because we're sick and tired of the same old rule. And obviously you've got the cabinet minister thinking, no, we must put it in more. And we must put in more new rules in to stop people from coming in. So it could look a lot eerie. But guess what, cabinet minister? You are wrong. Because lockdown sucked. And oh yeah, there's the pigeon. Yeah, I'm trying to make it as fun as entertaining as I can. You've already heard my latest news that I will definitely be getting a vaccine. I've been told it might be a Pfizer vaccine. I just don't really care if it's a AstraZeneca or Pfizer. Either of the two is absolutely fine. And of course, I will give you an update when I am vaccinated. I'll probably be up in the air, remove my mask, be like Donald Trump, and just calling it fake news, fake news, fake news. No, I'm not doing this because Donald Trump sucks anyways. He moans like a complete pig anyways. I mean, for goodness sake, moan about election fraud. There's no fraud, you idiot. No fraud. So stop with this hand gesturing. Start being so respectful to the people of America. Get used to it. I think there is a certain people you don't like. That's why you're just trying to get rid of their right to vote, so then you can be on top, have 0 votes for Biden and 100 million votes for you, Trump. So like if Trump was re-elected, you're going to have a lot of stupid buys and a massive crowd. A lot of people are going to get infected, and we would have had 1 million deaths anyway. Well, there you have it. It sounds like we are on the road to freedom, guys. You can hear the music. We are on the road to freedom. Oh, by the way, Boris sucks, and so does Trump. Here we are, this Thursday afternoon. The mood seems to change a lot since the announcement took place on Monday with this stupid daily briefing. I mean, we already told you this anyway, so I don't need to go all over again. It feels like a normal day all around it. You can see why many people are actually out there. The best news so far, I'm surely all of you McDonald's fans out there are expecting some good news. Some bit of good news to tell you is that McDonald's, right in front of me, is now open for walk-in takeaway. Originally, it was closed due to the infections and the variant dominating through the roof. Now that the cases are declining, but there are still new variants are still circulating around the world, but we can't really be out of the woods just yet. For now, the walk-in takeaway is available. What I heard from Boone, he says that it is very strict. In fact, you need to go alone. McDonald's is reopened for walk-in takeaways. It's a bit slightly changed inside, but you get what I mean.
Approximately 10 hours later.
What a beautiful start to Friday. Well, normally I would say happy Friday, everyone. Well, it is happy Friday because two things that is absolutely happy Friday. First, it's sunshine. Second, we're almost an hour away from getting my very first COVID-19 vaccine. That's not going to be out of the woods. We are still a long way to go. Even though it is going to be my first shot from today, I believe between 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 12 weeks, I'll be getting my second shot, which is probably due in May, which is probably either before or after my birthday. So I am actually excited for this. But in the meantime, guys, I wanted to say that when it is your turn, take the vaccine, because there are variants that is spreading. Please make sure that you take the offer, take the vaccine, whether it's Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and later on Moderna. Either the three options that you've been given, take it. Don't just like turn it down and think, oh no, I'm not going to take that. Don't BS on this. Take the vaccine whenever you can, because we need to try and get this accelerated before any new circulation of variants is going to start to spread. So it is time for me.
Many minutes later.
Well then, I finally got back home from the surgery, and you probably didn't guess what vaccine I've got. Do you want to guess? No? Anyone? No? Well, the answer is Pfizer. Now, I basically made a phone call probably a couple of days ago. Was going to ask them, is there any possible of a local Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine that I was supposed to get? I mean, usually I thought, okay, I'm going to get the AstraZeneca vaccine, AstraZeneca, and I keep saying, yes, AstraZeneca. Bring it on, AstraZeneca. Until I got there, I believe I went with my sister and my older brother, because I got two older brothers anyways, because I am the youngest in the family. Yeah, I went inside with the two of them, and you probably didn't guess that I was about to hear thinking, okay, my sister's got a vaccine, a Pfizer, then my older brother got a Pfizer, and then when it came to me, I got the Pfizer as well too, and I thought, no way. I am very fortunate, I am very lucky to have the Pfizer vaccine. For people who are watching my vlog, who are expressing their disappointment to social media and to the rest of the community, I really feel how you're feeling. I know it's really hard for you to get vaccinated, but I think everybody in the community should be vaccinated. For people who are actually have their turn to get the vaccine, please get the vaccine. Just to let you know, when you do receive the dose, you may feel a little bit ill, so I might probably get ill. Might do, might not, but let's just see how I get on by handling the very first dose. But then again, it's going to take about 3 weeks to get herd immunity, and hopefully I wouldn't really getting a positive reaction and stuff. But no, I don't think so. I mean, like I said, you are bound to get ill probably a day, and then after that you're going to feel better. But you may probably receive some, I don't know, muscle aches and so forth. Like, who knows? Be positive. Any vaccine that you get, you are bound to feel ill a little bit, but not very much. By the time you feel better, I thought, you are better. But at the moment, I'm going to test myself in the next day or so just to make sure I don't fall ill. But if you think that you're worried, drink plenty of water. And if you are feeling that you're about to get the pain, why don't you have antibiotic tablets? That's all I have to tell you guys. But for now, I want to say is when it is your turn, take the vaccine. Don't fall back. Take the vaccine. Life's too short and we need to start getting everyone vaccinated. As soon as everyone is vaccinated, perhaps we are hoping for a new normal summer. I really hope so.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Here I am, guys, at Uni Park, because I thought, you know, it's a nice sunny day and it's absolutely nice around here. I might as well just have a look and explore what is going on around in Uni Park. Considering the fact is that myself, Steve, Dan, we normally come here for Crazy Ass. Normally on that day, on Saturday, with the lockdown dominating all across or dragging us on, it's going to become more hard for the next couple of months, because I've just learned that there will be another stay-home order for next month, I believe. I was hoping that it was going to lift in March 8. Fortunately, I was kind of wrong on this. I want to go into details about it. But with all that said, we are actually getting out of lockdown. I think it is starting in the month of March, and by in a couple of months time, all retail shops are going to be reopened. But there's going to be different feelings when it comes to reopening. We could be in a very different situation from last year, but we already know that this is going to be becoming more difficult as it really sound or really look. Well, if you look behind me, this is where the walkway where I normally go up. Other than that, really hope you enjoyed this B-roll. So it was a really good walk in Uni Park, and obviously it is actually my local park here in Oxford. Well, you already know the memo that I actually live in Oxford. I would normally come down here when it's absolutely glorious like this. I wouldn't really come down there when it's raining or when it's actually cloudy. I mean, cloudy doesn't feel really great, but sunny is kind of the perfect opportunity for me to come down to the park and have a good time walking around. I mean, a lot of people are getting really fed up with this stupid guidance and restrictions that has been dragging on for at least a month or two now. So it's going to be dragging on for at least 3 months until this whole stay-at-home crap actually lifts. So yeah, I only got little things to say, but it was really a good walk. weather seems to get a heck of a lot better than I expected, right? I mean, earlier in the morning, it was gloomy. It was a bit greyish, cloudish, and a lot of people were worried it was going to rain. In fact, it wasn't, because when I was checking my weather when I woke up this morning, it was going to be sunny for the rest of today, and I was right all along, and it is. And you can see behind me, I'm not sure if you can tell, it's actually clear skies with, well, with all the sunshine glaring towards the building here at Westgate. You guys probably know that this is where I sat when I first started the lockdown vlog. Not sure if I did start it for the first time or the second time, but yeah, this is where I sat here explaining the situation, what was going on. The escalators are still running. So yeah, anyways, we already are actually on the verge, and I don't need to repeat it because I already told you this already. My arm is now better, by the way, and it is absolutely in good shape, and we are actually on the verge of freedom, actually. I don't know, people just say, oh yeah, freedom is coming back, but it will take long. Well, not really, but I think by the time we are back on our feet, we should be back to where we were.
4 to 6 days later.
Well, on a Sunday morning here in Summertown, the mood hasn't changed that much around here, and you probably know that it has becoming a heck of a lot busy because lockdown is definitely lifting. But in the meantime, guess where we are? Yes, we are at school. Yes, Gale. Make crumbs at home. Yes, hot cross buns is also here, and there's quite a lot of people. It also only allows 5 people, maximum 5 people, but what I'm seeing so far is there's about more than 5 in here. That's just so insane. But yeah, of course, you still got the queue, and around here there is no seating area, of course, you can tell. Obviously, the seating, you can see down here, it says temporarily closed. Well, I am getting a cappuccino, by the way. Like we all said before, back in July last year, it is expensive, but I prefer Marks and Spencer. So guys, we are going to be reaching a milestone for Ollie and Steen here at Oxford. We already know that Ollie and Steen reopened its bakeries across London. London area has completely reopened later of 2020. Sadly, we've been waiting for months or 3 months, and we are in March right now, and it looks like it still failed to reopen. What you basically saw, what was inside, is completely empty. The chairs are still there as it is before. Nobody went in. The cone is still there. The menu is still old, and the ovens and other parts are just like completely abandoned. But we already know the fact that in the inside of the kitchen that you may not be able to see, or I won't be able to see, if you smell it from outside, it really stinks. I have to tell you, it really stinks. It's abandoned, which clearly means that rat could easily go inside and completely attack the kitchen. Ollie and Steen has been left abandoned here at Oxford for nearly a year now, and we have no idea to when or it will ever reopen its bakeries here at Oxford. Ollie and Steen have now finally reopened the entire London store. Unfortunately, Oxford has been left out in the cold. Sadly to say, guys, we do not know this time that it will ever open. Only time can tell.
The next day.
Guess what day it is? It's March 8th. And you know what that means is it's meet your friends in the park or coffee in the park with friends, meaning that there are some lifted restrictions have been eased, except that we have to stay at home. And as you probably can tell, I'm not at home. I'm actually out exercising, well, trying to get myself a coffee, so then I can just do all of that. Not many shops are actually open at the moment, but obviously Marks and Spencer, being the essential one, is still open, although the upstairs and the basement is still closed. Most of the shops are still closed until April 12th, and we already know that there's going to be a stay-at-home order being lifted on March 29th. I've been heard that it's going to be lifted in March 29th, but most people say no, it's going to be April 12th. But most people don't know on March 29th is that all stay-at-home restrictions are lifted, which means 2 weeks before the non-essential shops are being reopened, and Marks and Spencer reopening the upstairs and the downstairs, so quite exciting. For all that said, still a stay-at-home crap, but by March 29th, it's all diminished.
24 hours later.
Well, it's a lovely day here at Westgate, and oh my gosh, I'm actually flouting. I'm flouting because I haven't got my mask on. Hold on one second. By the way, mask is compulsory, so basically I have to wear it when I'm indoors. I mean, obviously I only took it off because, I'll tell you in a minute, before I put my mask on, I do need to wash my mask. kind of stinks a little bit. Yeah, the reason I had my mask off is because I was having this, because I had a free drink. Well, anyways, as you can see, it is a lovely day here at Westgate, and no shops are still open. We have to wait for another month, and the stay-at-home order will end on March 29th because we can go somewhere for a short journey, but we still have to have a stay-at-home order in the meantime. But right here, I just had my tea. As you can see, I already told you this already, and yeah.
You get the idea.
One thing that is kind of a bit weird is specifically to wear sunglasses in the sun with my mask on. Sometimes I get a bit of a fadey in my sunglasses, but it feels weird because the weather is going to start going mild, and most people are thinking that it's going to be an early summer. It's not an early summer, but around here, quite dramatically, I think there's a lot of hope that is going on around there. Not many people are wearing their masks, surprisingly or not. I mean, usually in the roof terrace you still have to wear your mask, but unless if you are drinking a Cafe Nero or a Costa or even a Starbucks, I mean, usually I would just pull my mask down and sip a coffee or a cappuccino that I have, and then just cover it back up. It is kind of a bit exhausting, but obviously I am vaccinated, and quite clearly not much is going to be done so far, but eventually we will hopefully be back to a better summer, which it will be the better summer, not the useless summer that we had last year.
2 weeks later.
Well, guys, I would actually normally say happy spring to you all, which I think it is already spring. The sun is shining, we're getting mild weather so far. I mean, it's not very cold, not very warm, but probably at a steady pace of this temperature anyways. So the winter has now gone, hopefully by then. I mean, obviously we still got a week left until we enter the new daylight savings, and currently we have the stay-at-home crap, but I believe by March 29th we could be finished. So I thought I might as well just say happy spring to you all. It is actually officially, so I wouldn't say it's officially spring, I would say it's unofficially spring. And obviously you can see all the flowers around me have grown a heck of a lot, which is pretty cool. But anyways, we do have some news to tell you regarding to Ollie and Steen here at Westgate in Oxford. The update has now provided for March 2021. Sadly, Ollie and Steen haven't found a ways to reopen its Oxford store as of this month, so we have reached the grim milestone. Over a year, Ollie and Steen have failed to reopen after the first lockdown. We were gone back into lockdown in November, failed to open after the second lockdown, and here we are at the third lockdown, and still no sign of Ollie and Steen being reopened. If you could take a look at their pages, they give you a full extensive update to see what has been going on, opening safely, making sure everything is in a very good standard. Sadly, we don't know what Westgate is thinking. I think that this has to be done, and it has to be addressed to why Westgate won't let Ollie and Steen reopen. Obviously thinking that Westgate would say, well, it is a London store, so we're not allowing it here. If you want to go for a bakery, go to Gale. Gale make crumbs at home. Although we have received a bit of positive news from Ollie and Steen, they haven't really announced a reopening date as of yet. We're not out of the woods yet. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, so hopefully by the summer, which I'm predicting the summer, they will announce their reopening date. First, they need to clean out the stink part of the kitchen. Everything needs to be cleaned out, sanitized, absolutely deep clean, deep sanitized, before even thinking about announcing the reopening date. I am begging the cleaners and all the health inspectors to go in, clean up literally all the garbage that has been there for a year, clean everything, no matter how long it takes. By then, we should be reopened and get into Ollie and Steen in the safest way as possible. Ollie and Steen have not lost Oxford at all. So, a bit of good news. Ollie and Steen will return back to Oxford, hopefully by the autumn mainly, but hopefully it could mean that Ollie and Steen in Oxford will be back by the summer.
24 hours later.
So guys, it's a very unusual places to be as I am just walking around in my local area here at Oxford, and I came across this, and some of you guys know I think you guys really do need to understand what this story is about. For those people who don't know, Sarah Everard, who was, I think there is something that has happened, I think you're going to have to find out online. A serious major incident has occurred where a police officer was arrested for a murder of Sarah Everard. And you can see all these flowers are laid out in front of the Radcliffe camera, as you can see. That's the landmark of Oxford. You can probably see why that all of these flowers have been laid out is to clearly send a message to what it should be by treating women with respect. And I've always said this in a powerful way. I always wanted to show respect for women, and this is extremely important for everybody to be aware of it. Equality, diversity, everything. Of course, you can see what it says. If I can try and zoom in for you guys. It says, your rage is more than justified. One woman is killed by a man every 3 days in the UK. A gender-based violence is everywhere. The home, the streets, the university, and at work. This is clearly the message that I want to send to everybody who are brutal, who are harsh, especially to the police officers. This should be educated all around it. All of these flares sent is to show respect, to show love. And to what happened to Sarah Everard, my condolences go to the family and to everybody who were affected by this. We love you, Sarah Everard.
3 hours later.
Good evening, guys. I don't know if you guys are wondering why am I doing this video. Well, I want you to take a look what happened last year.
Good evening. The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades, and this country is not alone. All over the world, we're seeing the devastating impact of this invisible killer. So it's vital to slow the spread of the disease. The time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. I know the damage that this disruption is doing and will do to people's lives, and I can assure you the people of this country will rise and we will come through it stronger than ever together. And therefore, I urge you at this moment of national emergency to stay at home, protect our NHS and save lives. Thank you.
This was our Prime Minister addressing the nation for the first time, talking about COVID-19. Yes, our life completely changed dramatically from bad to worse. We were in the brinks of getting many cases while we are still open. Many of the countries, including Italy, France, and most of Europe, had to shut down completely. It was completely eerie. And of course, UK followed today, March 23rd, which marks the very first anniversary of the very first national lockdown. Although we are currently in a third national lockdown, and obviously it is going to end on April 12th as of next month. Actually, no, it's going to end March 29th, which means that there will be no more lockdowns. I'm not really going to say there will never be lockdowns because I do have a lot suspicious from the government itself. Unfortunately, Tory government have been in power for 10 years and they have done absolutely jack all. Many corruptions have always occurred within the police community, like for example in Derbyshire, are really corrupted. I'm not really going to get into details about it, but let's just focus on what happened on this day since last year, the very first anniversary. Few days after that lockdown occurred, or should I say, well, a few days before that lockdown occurred, California had its very first grim 1 year anniversary of their very first state lockdown. It's not national lockdown, but it's called the state lockdown in California. That happened, and of course, right here in the UK, it wasn't really state lockdown or county lockdown or local lockdown. At that time, it was national lockdown, and it lasted until June. Non-essential shop was not open until June 15th. Some shops were still on the brink of reopening. Some shops were under pressure, could be out of business, which did happen. Well, obviously this year now we've lost Debenhams. So I just wanted to tell you on how stressful it was last year because we had no vaccines, no ventilators, no nothing. We were in deep trouble. Every of the world, or most parts of the world, shut down. We had no idea what we were going to be doing. At least 3 weeks we were fine with the lockdown, but after 3 weeks and how it extended for another 3 weeks, we have finally got fed up with it. And it was stressful, It affected our mental health. We didn't even know what we were doing. And when it reopened in June, we were told to wear masks. Obviously, we have to have that stupid track and trace that our health minister decided to introduce. Isn't he wonderful? Not. Well, like I said, we are now at a better year now. I suppose we are in a better place since last year, because last year we were in the worst place. We have now got vaccines rolling out. It doesn't mean we are out of the woods just yet. We still got a long way to go. Probably the actual adults will get the vaccine by the end of July. That could change, that most of the adults could get this by as early as May. It could happen. We never know, because usually if it really goes well here in this country, we could get vaccines national rollout a heck of a lot early, which means that many people can now go back to work by either in June or in the beginning of July. We want to say is thank you very much. We want to thank our public health, emergency services, frontline workers for what you have done for all of us to make us stay comforted in our homes, able to protect from people from getting COVID. We are now in the final week, eventually before the entire thing reopens. Good afternoon, everyone. As I'm standing in front of John Lewis and Partners, you guys are probably wondering what is going on, has anything changed inside, etc. There has been some lights on and lights off, and everyone is wondering in their thoughts if John Lewis is ever going to reopen after the third lockdown here. I can tell you guys now that John Lewis and Partners have announced permanent closing in Sheffield, York, and some other places. These are one of the saddest days of all time for many big cities to lose John Lewis and Partners. And it looks like that if we've lost Debenhams, I mean obviously we've lost Debenhams here at Oxford, they must have lost Debenhams there, which clearly could state that they have no more department stores standing. It's dead. Sad. My condolences go to the city of Sheffield, York, and other places. Oh yeah, including Aberdeen as well too. But I got some good news to tell you. John Lewis and Partners here at Oxford will reopen on April 12th, along with Reading, London, and some other places. So we are glad that John Lewis will reopen on April 12th when we go out of lockdown. I mean, we were supposed to go out of lockdown on March 29th, that's still happening, but the reopening will begin on April 12th, which means that John Lewis and Partner will definitely reopen on April 12th. I really can't wait to get back into John Lewis and Partners. This is going to be a long time, since December, that I will go inside John Lewis. Happy days.
Epilogue.
Good morning. Today we are announcing, at last, the stay-at-home order is finally over. We can now go ahead and see our friends, our families, our partners for the first time since December. Back in December, the Tier 4 lockdown hit the nation. In parts of the areas were under Tier 4, some of the parts were under Tier 3 and Tier 2. Although when Tier 4 hit, no one was in Tier 2. It was 0. No one was in Tier 1. It was just Tier 3 and Tier 4. Then, in January 5th, we hit a big, bold bombshell. A national lockdown for the third time. And this time, it was much more harder and it took its toll. We can now finally announce that we can just go out to see our friends and do what we can. However, I need to stress to every one of you who knows that this part of the freedom has only begun. We must be cautious of the virus and the variants that is still spreading all across the country, which means that in order for us to do socializing in a much better and safer way, we should do 3 things. Wash our hands, socially distance, and wear a mask. That is right, you should wear a mask when you're in contact with your friends. Although it is a big difference from last year when it comes to meeting friends, we all have to be very cautious, socially distanced, but mask wearing was not introduced at that time. We can now tell you proudly that we have vaccinated more than 30 million people, and therefore most of the people can now reach immunity after 3 weeks. The final shot needs to be asserted, so then after the final shot has been done, we could reach full immunity in another 3 weeks. Which means that once we are all vaccinated, it doesn't mean rip all of our masks off and just do whatever you want. We still need to socially distance a little bit and wear our mask. We are now in the road to freedom, in the baby steps and the start of the step to the road to freedom. And still to come, April 12th,
retail shops opens, and in June, every of the restrictions could be lifted. But I will let you know for more updates. Thank you.
Montage.
You don't really can tell that I have a nice smile on my face. Well, you can see it is a lovely day here at Botley Road. Of course, Home Bargain is finally open, and lucky enough, the whole busyness have actually died down. However, I just wanted to tell you guys that the stay-at-home order, I mean, I already told you this already on my addressing the nation, that the whole stay-at-home order is now lifted. It's nice to come out here in a nice warm temperature. It's about 18 degrees so far. So you can see around here, Home Bargain is looking in good shape at the moment. It looks really nice. I have to get something really from there. But let's just go down to Westgate and see what's up there. Well, here we are, guys. We are around here at Westgate. I might as well just show you around just one more time before we wrap up of this live during quarantine series. I suppose it has been a very long time to cover this series since the start of November. I came up with this name, Live During Quarantine, because obviously during the lockdown vlog I wanted to name this series so then people know what quarantine is, meaning that you can't do anything, because during quarantine is specifically stay-at-home order, but after quarantine is basically meaning stay-at-home order is completely done. And of course we are going to be doing the road to reopening, but we're going to do two parts of the series of life after quarantine, but you'll find out on the next series. Anyways, so we just arrived around here at Westgate. Just wanted to show you, although it's not open just yet, but I'm sure the people will actually update on the store reopen. And it has been a heck of a long time, although it says until further notice. We already know it's going to open on April 12th. Not every shops will open on April 12th, because there are some other shops that need some preparation after April 12th, so then they'll be able to prepare themselves ready for the spring shopping, and hopefully by then we should see at least a lot of people packing up. But there are worries about the surge of the new variants could be circulating around throughout this year, and including even in the spring season. But we already know that we should at least do our common sense, wear a mask, socially distance, wash our hands. You can see all around here, still quiet, still eerie, but let's just say in a positive way that everything is coming back. Although there's a bit of a winter sale, I don't know why, but of course Quiz is now closed, permanently closed. Shrews, I don't know how you say it, Shrews is going to reopen. Obviously everyone is now starting to prepare for the April 12th reopening. EE, I'm not sure if they're going to prepare for that as well too. Also O2 is going to be reopening, but in the new location. Everyone's favourite Lush social distancing, I don't know why they say that for, just to make it a bit more fun. I know there's some random person would say social distancing fun, likes for life, ridiculous. I don't know why they like that, but it's just so stupid. You know, you can see Primark here. Primark is preparing for their reopening. The lights are on. The lights have been off for several weeks or even several months. Next Click and Collect is now closed. Not sure if it's still running. I think it's still closed. I think that Superdrug is going to open on April 12th, believe it or not, because are they going to deem this non-essential? That's just painfully ridiculous. It's not non-essential. Give me a break. And finally, John Lewis and Partners will reopen its store on April 12th after a astonishing announcement of permanent closing of a few of the stores. Obviously, I didn't mention earlier, Peterborough, of course. Sad days for Peterborough. I mean, Peterborough is badly hit, including New York as well. I mean, there has been some petitions that they're trying to sign to keep the store at Peterborough, but presumably the cabinet has said, nope, move on. Simple as that. Stupid gove. Yeah, the reflection of Westgate looks to be into the reopening stages. Partial freedom has now been restored. Up to 6 people. That doesn't look like 6 people to me. Up to 6 people can meet up. It does look like it's only just 4 people. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 people. So it is up to 6 people. But if it's like 7 or 8, yeah, that sounds suspicious. But like I said, we're already looking around here. It looks absolutely astonishing. Let's just go upstairs. What a lushful day on a warm weather here on the roof terrace at Westgate. It feels like an early summer has arrived, meaning it's warmer. It's nearly 20 degrees. At the moment, it's 18 degrees. It feels so good. I believe tomorrow or Wednesday is going to be about 21 degrees. Happy days. You can see the glorious, gorgeous landmarks of Oxford. You can see around here. It's beautiful. You can see you can see a bit of Newton Tower, and you won't be able to, yeah, you can see a bit of Magdalen Tower down here. Christchurch Cathedral. That's where I normally pan around all the time in my vlog. That's what I normally do. And it's wonderful around here. It's beautiful and it's absolutely astonishing here, and it's nice to see everything around looking very bluish because there's light at the end of the tunnel. With all that said, I wanted to thank you all very much for this long-running life during quarantine. I didn't even know that the episode is going to run for more than 40 minutes, and it looks like it has run for 40 minutes. Not every vlog is kind of interesting, it's a little bit boring, I apologize. But I just wanted to personally thank you all very much for the support and ensuring that many people who are really feeling down, we are here to entertain you as much as we can. You could actually hate the government's decision into locking the country down rather than shutting down the virus. There has been so many political decisions that they had to do it. We have now finally exited lockdown right now, March 29th, and it has been so good so far, but shops are still yet to be open, but that will not occur until April 12th. I wanted to say thank you to all the people who participated into helping life during quarantine as much as fun as possible. I do apologize for the first part of episode 2 of Life During Quarantine. It was very miserable. We were in tier 4 and then national lockdown hit on January 5th. Yeah, I know how you guys feel. It's mentally draining for everyone else, and of course there's been so much strict rules that has been put into place. £200 fine is just so outrageous for people who are trying to follow the rules. It's ridiculous, including the people in Derbyshire. I can't believe it. They've been overzealous so far. But I wanted to say thank you to my viewers who cope with me for far long. And this is the very last ever series of Life During Quarantine. I'm not going to do any more of this. Even if lockdown hits another time, which I believe is always political, I'm not going to do it. And we're going to start Life After Quarantine for 3 to 4 months, so then we can build up to the extended freedom in June. And then the final of Life After Quarantine will begin in July. And then it will be ended in end of July. And then we are all done. Thank you all so much. I will see you in Life After Quarantine. Thank you all very much for watching Life During Quarantine. Have a lovely day, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Take care, guys. Goodbye.